Greetings, duelists. Welcome to another video. This is a follow-up for the Unearthed series where I did Mayakashi Eldlich. As you can see here, this is my current deck profile. I'll go through it very like a bit by bit, and I'll tell you I'll explain the ratios. Um, one Daki, two Golden Lords, three Hajun, Mizuki, Banshee, Yuki Masune. That's a total of 9 monsters. Explaining the monster ratio. So you want to open Hajun pretty much always. Hajun is the one card combo. He makes it so you can do the entire loop and you summon all the monsters here in the extra deck up to link 4. And you just need that one card. Infinite Impermanence is very prevalent in the format, so it's kind of weak to that. Ash Blossom is also seeing a lot of play, so he's also weak to that. But once you resolve Hajun, you don't have to worry about anything else except for Nibiru. I'll get to that when I get to the combo. Two Golden Lurch is standard. I think any Eldlich build needs to run at least two. Mizuki and Banshee are the two fringe zombies that I picked for Yuki Musume. There's a lot of other options that you can play. Like there's Ballad Rock. There's I tried a Gold Maseraf at one point. There's a lot of different options. Beast of the Pharaoh is a very funny one. Like there's a lot of zombie monsters that you can try out that will work with Yuki Musume. You can try Glow Up Bloom, and Glow Up Bloom will get you to Golden Lord, or it can get you to the other stuff. But the reason I chose Banshee and Mizuki specifically is because against certain matchups, Banshee pretty much becomes a floodgate. And if you're noticing here, I'm also playing Rivalry of the Warlords, which I'll get to it when I get to the traps. But that paired with Zombie World is pretty much like a hard lock against certain strategies. Mizuki is really strong because the thing about Mizuki is that you can reuse Mizuki in this deck. I'll explain that when I get to the traps. But yeah, these two were the two zombies I chose for Yuki Musume's effect. So that's it for the monsters. Not too much. Spell cards: 3 Cursed Outland, Elixir, Foolish, Return, 1/1, Zombie World. 1/1 seems like a very odd pick because I'm running so little monsters. But the thing about it is, if you run Cursed Outland, it pretty much becomes Golden Lord if you need a discard fodder for 1/1. And it's also good because it means you can send this later with Golden Lord and it becomes like a +1 if you resolve this. But yeah, outside of it being weak to Ash, it means that you don't need to rely on your normal summon. And it's basically another copy of Hayun. And again, you want to resolve Hayun as soon as possible. This card is nuts. Mayakashi Return either adds or foolishes a card. Any Mayakashi card. I don't think I need to explain how good this card is. A lot of archetypes will love a card like this one. Similar to Foolish Burial. It's just another way to either dump Golden Lord, Mizuki. If you already control Mayakashi, you can dump Yuki Musume. If your combo gets stopped at any point and you can get to the extra deck, you can also summon Daki. Send Daki with this. So that's pretty much that. And that already explains Zombie World. Trap cards. There's a lot of them. It's kind of typical in an Eldlich deck to see that. I'm maxing out Kong and Hakeru, as well as Scarlet and Queen. The point behind that is Hakeru at max is not standard, but I want to grind the game as much as possible because we're in a slower format than past formats. Um, I, another reason, and that's the same reason I'm also playing Golden Lamp Forever. The second reason for Golden Lamp Forever is evenly matched is in the main deck in a lot of decks right now. So you don't want to get blown out by that card. And this is a very easy in-engine way for you to like not get evenly matched. Um, I chose Rivalry and Skill Drain as my floodgates of choice. Um, as I explained in past videos, floodgates are really powerful right now. Like at least Skill Drain specifically. Rivalry is strong. Is much weaker than Skill Drain, but it's still really strong, especially if you pair it up with Zombie World. It pretty much becomes like pseudo vanity emptiness at that point. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much the one choice that I made. It's not good against Labyrinth, but against Kashtira and Branded, which are two other popular decks, uh, this card really is strong. So I chose that as my general consensus. Um, Evenly matched. There's a lot of ways for this deck to go second, and evenly matched is just a really powerful tool. So like you can fight against other decks when going second. Um, but yeah, like I feel like this card should be either in your main or your side deck. At this point, it's just that strong of a card. Um, Ghost Meets Girl. Yeah, this card is pretty much an FTK versus a lot of decks if you resolve it. And it's also searchable by Mayakashi Return. I don't play 3 because I I don't want this card to become like the deck's only win condition. I like the main win condition on the deck is pretty much like just grind the game with your extra deck. Like if you resolve the Mayakashi Daki loop, it's really strong. You're like already winning. So like you don't need this card for that. But if you get the option to open this card, it's really strong. Extra deck, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Link 2, link 3, link 4. If you saw the previous video, I pretty much explained like how the Mayakashis work. I'll soon show like a quick combo to just take note of. But basically, what is going to happen is as soon as Daki hits the board, you're gonna be synchro climbing and looping all the way to link 4. If you ever played Dark Synchro back in the day when Cypher Lord Omega was back at 3, it's pretty much the same concept. You're gonna keep summoning a lot of synchros left and right, and you're gonna keep looping resources until you pretty much empty your entire extra deck. The two non-Mayakachis that I chose to run are Vampire Sucker and Vendred. They're made with any two zombies, so pretty much you can use it with your Eldlich traps. You can only use Daki as the Mayakashi of choice to make these. Every other Mayakashi main deck monster locks you into Mayakashis while they're on the board. So outside of that, you can make it with your Eldlich traps. You can make it with Golden Lord, and like they're just really good zombies all around. You can send Golden Lord with this, or send like other names. You can gain advantage out of Sucker, especially if you pair Vampire Sucker with Yukiona. It's just like mad pluses because you can pretty much like make it so you keep gaining cards. Another cool thing about Vampire Sucker is that this card is pretty much a win condition versus Kashtira because you can summon a monster from the graveyard to your opponent's board, and that makes it so they cannot do their Kashtira summons. And it also plays around evenly matched. If you do that. And if you have rivalry on the board and you resolve Vampire Sucker's effect, they're locked into zombies. So that's another soft lock that you can do if you resolve Sucker. Side deck. This varies from player to player. This is not like set in stone. Like there's a lot of side deck cards you can play. I'll go them one by one. Droll and Lockbird. The number one reason Droll and Lockbird is here is because of Dark World. The way this format works right now, you need board breakers to beat the top decks. But the issue with that is if you only play board breakers, you're going to lose to Dark World. Because that is a deck that is pretty much going to loop your entire hand, and they're going to take away all of your resources, and they'll put you in a chokehold if you don't have a hand trap for them. And Droll is pretty much like the best hand trap that can handle that deck. This also is not that bad against Kashtira, and is also very decent against Branded. So this is like the hand trap of choice that I made. Ras Fear Mode. Kashtira has the 9 zone lock combo that exists, and you have to respect it. So pretty much I picked like a good board breaker for it. It's not the best board breaker. You can also play Lava Golem, but I just chose Sphere Mode. The second reason I chose Sphere Mode is because if you end up in a weird scenario where you're summon locked, like they summon something that prevents special summons, you can tribute it away for Sphere Mode as well. Book of Eclipse, self-explanatory. If you're playing this format, this is pretty much like the best board breaker right now. Cosmic Cyclone, you have to respect back row. You have to respect Floodgates as well. Like Labyrinth is a real deck, and evenly matched is sometimes not enough. And Anti-Spell Fragrance. So the number one reason this card is here is because of Runic. Runic is another deck that should be heavily respected this format, and this card is pretty much an FTK with alongside it. And if you pair Anti-Spell like with Golden Lamp Forever and with Floodgates, it's really hard for any deck in the game to actually deal with your board. Like pretty much like the only consistent way to break this would be evenly matched, and again I mentioned Golden Lamp Forever because that's a chokehold against evenly matched. That would be it for the deck profile portion. So as you see here, this is a typical hand that you'll grab when using this deck. The first thing I guess I'll show is like the basic combo, like how this works. So you activate Return. Return will get you to Hayun. And as I explained, Hayun is pretty much a one card combo. So you do Hayun effect. Hayun will grab Daki. Daki will summon herself. 1+2. Remember that you're locked into only summoning Mayakashis while Hayun is on the board specifically. So you summon Oboro Guruma. You're no longer locked into Mayakashis from the extra deck. However, you're going to activate Daki's effect. And Daki, what does is that when something is summoned from the extra deck, there's a Mayakashi, she summons herself. You summon here. Take note, as soon as you activate this effect, you're hard locked into Mayakashis from the extra deck. Like, you couldn't do anything from the extra deck, neither before nor after. Though, something really important. Try to prevent stop cheating your opponents with that. So, Daki and this will make Tsuchigumo, and as I explained earlier before, Daki is not once per turn. Daki will keep activating as soon as a Synchro or Link Mayakashi is summoned, so she'll summon herself again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move Daki here, and I'll keep declaring their effects for every synchro that I keep making with Daki. So there's synchro 5, 7, Daki triggers. You go to 9, 7 plus 2 is 9, Daki triggers. 9 into 11. DB is kind of buggy sometimes. Daki triggers. So 11 plus the Daki will make the link 2, Yuki-onna. Daki triggers. From Yuki-onna and Daki, you make the link 3, Yuki-onna. Daki triggers. So something really important here. You can go from that link 3 to directly to the link 4. And you can just trigger Daki optionally if you want. What I like doing is something a little more different. Instead of summoning the link 4 directly, I'll grab the link 3 and the Daki to remake the link 2. Something very important to note, you can only control one copy of X extra deck monster Mayakashi monster. So you can't control multiple Yuki-onnas, you cannot control, you can control multiple Yuki-onnas because there are 3 different Yuki-onnas, but not that specific name. So the reason we're summoning a second link 2 is because we're gonna summon a second link 3. And the reason we're doing that is because this link 3 has a graveyard effect in which she banishes herself. So you can special summon any zombie synchro that's in your graveyard or banished. So any of the Mayakashi monsters. It's a quick effect, and so you can do it on your opponent's turn. So you kind of want enough copies of Yuki-onna in your grave. And however, you don't want to send all the copies of it for 2 reasons. One, if they stop your combo or they break the loop by either sending monsters back to the extra deck or banishing them face down, you kind of want another way to keep looping Daki again and going back to the link 4. The second reason you don't use these is because if there's an open opportunity for you to OTK, you'll have these other copies left so you can enable OTKing your opponent. So after Yuki-onna is summoned, you can summon Daki. There are benefits and disbenefits from doing that. The benefit of summoning Daki back is that you have tribute fodder for Golden Lamp Forever, which this can tribute any zombie monster as long as you control an Eldlich. So you can use Daki as a free tribute for Golden Lamp Forever, which is another reason this deck synergizes well with Eldlich. The bad part about doing this is you're susceptible to Lava Golem. So basically Lava Golem can just eat them both. Just having Yuki-onna is fine. You don't have the tribute fodder. However, if you summon, you can pretty much have all your interruptions from the graveyard, and Yuki-onna herself is a double interruption. First effect is she's basically negation for banish effects, for banished monsters. So goodbye Flunderies and goodbye Thunder Dragons or Chiranuis, which is the theme or the thematic reason why this effect is hit there. But the second effect is if a monster is summoned from the graveyard, you can pretty much imperm a monster permanently and its attack is 0, and it's twice per turn. So a lot of people overlook that part. So that's basically the end part. Other things you can do, we'll take this hand for example. you can Foolish Burial here, Foolish Burial for Yuki Onna, and as I brought up before, you can trigger Yuki Onna if you control a Mayakashi, and you can dump any zombie monster. So, for simplicity's sake, an explanation of this hand, we'll dump the Golden Lord, and then you can set, you can send, you can Golden Lord's effect, bring itself back, set these two, and you pass turn. And something too important about Skill Drain, it does negate your Synchro's effects. It will negate Yuki Onna, but I mean, look at their stats. Like, they're huge. Like 29, 29, 33. And they all float. Like, if a Mayakashi dies by battle or card effect, all the synchros can float into each other. And Skill Drain also doesn't stop this from summoning itself. And another point of Skill Drain is it does not stop the Daki loop either. So if you have Daki on rotation, you immediately can play even if you get impermed, which is why, and Skill Drain is also good. One other card that I'll talk about, I'll put this here. Let's say we have the Ghostmist Girl. If we open Ghostmist Girl, and one thing I like doing is I banish Yuki Onna and summon Tsuchigumo. The thing about this is Tsuchigumo can mill 3, and if by some chance you milled an Eldlich trap, it instantly becomes a +1. But the other reason you do this is because you have tribute fodder for Chiranui Saga. Something cool about Chiranui Saga, and I brought it up in like the earlier videos, is you can still summon your Eldlich traps under Chiranui Saga. Because Chiranui Saga only says that you cannot summon from the hand, deck, or extra deck. A lot of people immediately think you can only summon from graveyard or banished, but it doesn't say anything about not being able to be summoned from the spell and trap zone. So that's another important note. So yeah, with that explanation, we can go and grab some duels.